Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We're going to watch post-qualifying press conference. Let's watch it together.
A warm welcome to the top three qualifiers for the FIA Formula One Australian Grand Prix. In third place, Max Verstappen. In second place, Oscar Piastri, and taking the 10th pole position of his Formula One career, and his first here in Australia, our pole sitter, Lando Norris. Many congratulations, Lando. A great lap for the pole. Just how good was that final lap in Q3?
Good enough, I guess. Tricky because of my first lap and going off track, and just with how tight it's been, especially with Oscar. But yeah, it's a tough one because you want to take a lot of risks, especially on this track. It's a track you gotta commit, and you gotta know what your target is, and once you turned in, you're kind of hoping for the best in a lot of cases. So it's one way you want to take those risks. Obviously, I took too many on my first lap and got track limits, so I was in a difficult position with knowing how much risk I want to take. But I put it together well. It was just a clean lap, no mistakes, and that was enough. So happy. I'm in a perfect way to start the season.
And the margins are very fine this weekend. Just how confident were you coming into the session?
I mean, we've been confident just because, our expectation is, as much as we want to dominate and actually have a result like we've just had, it really was not necessarily our expectation to have a bit of a gap to the rest of the cars. So, and I want to say have a gap. I mean, when we put the lap in, we had a bit of a gap, but it's been difficult. I think one of our things have been how difficult it's been in our car just to execute those qualifying laps and to put things together. And that's been some of the things I've struggled with this weekend. So to have that kind of pace we had today was not unexpected, but we just weren't, going in thinking, okay, we're going to have 2 tenths over everyone or 1.5 tenths, whatever it was. So we know we have a good car, mainly because I know I have a very good team around me, and everyone back at McLaren and MTC has done an incredible job, clearly, to keep the car going from last season and improve in as many areas as possible.
Right, Lando, that's qualifying. Let's throw it ahead to the race. 2 questions. If it's dry, what's the long run pace like?
I think it's in a good place. I think we were decent in Bahrain, and I think we're going to expect to be pretty good here. We were pretty good here last year, and that was with a much worse car. So we're going in with one target, clearly, which is to be at the top and to have 2 cars at the top. But conditions are going to be unexpected, so we just have to go in prepared. That's what we can really do.
If it's wet, what's the mindset?
Win, same. Doesn't change.
A more conservative approach, or what is it like around Albert Park in the wet?
It's very tough. I mean, it's still cool, and it's still a sketchy track just because you got walls close and you can't make a lot of mistakes around here. You pay the price very quickly, but it's still a street circuit, and you got a lot of these painted white lines, which are meant to be high grip, but they're still very slippery when you're going at the speeds that we're going. So definitely not easy. We did some wet running, I think, here a couple of years ago, and it tests you, So excited, yes, nervous at the same time, but we know we have a good car, and we just have to keep our heads down.
Right.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting, but I need to do that, as you know, in every single video. The racing race is waiting for us, as I expected. They're in first and second place, but maybe there will be a surprise tomorrow between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, because as you know, Oscar Piastri is in his home race, and normally he just will want to win this race, and maybe we will see one more time like papaya rule problems. But definitely I know that tomorrow we will have a very interesting race, and behind them is Max Verstappen. We will have interesting things on the beginning of the start. And also, one more time, I'm sorry for the interruption. Just don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel.
Very well done today. Thank you for that, Lando. Oscar, let's come to you now. So close.
I think with these tires, with the hot temperature, as soon as you slide them a little bit or get them a bit dirty, they drop off a lot, and struggled a lot with the last sector, and then went off at the second last corner. So yeah, I think that's the fine line around here, and I think that's been a little bit of a struggle with our car so far. It's been quick, but it bites at times. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the job I did, and I'll go back and see where it could have been a little bit better.
You're echoing the thoughts of Lando over one lap. Can we just get your thoughts on the race pace of the car?
Pretty happy, I think. Yesterday felt quite good. So yeah, if it's dry, then I think. Yeah, I think so. We had a bit of a tough start. This has never really been a good track to us, I think, as well. So it took a bit of time to understanding and how we can improve the situation, and we did that today. Honestly, I'm quite surprised to be sitting here after yesterday. So I felt confident. I felt one with the car, but yeah, of course, clearly was still lacking a bit of pace. But overall, happy with the laps in qualifying. I mean, tried to really extract everything. Tires are quite sensitive around here as well with all these high-speed corners. But I'm happy to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the improvements? Where have you made the most difference overnight?
On the car. Yeah, just trying to fine-tune balance, things, and the car just came alive a little bit more. Yesterday it was, in general, quite okay to drive, but just too slow. And today it was a little bit faster, but clearly, yeah, still not fast enough. But still to be ahead of Ferrari and Mercedes, I think is good for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like after yesterday, including me, I was thinking, and the other fans, I believe that they were thinking like, Verstappen, this race actually it will be a very problem for the Red Bull and for the Verstappen, but somehow they did something in the car, and they are on top three, in front of Mercedes and Ferrari. It was, let's say, a surprise of today.
Can we just throw it forward to the race now? Long run pace of the car?
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect like any kind of miracles about it. I think it's okay, but it's not. I think not on the same level. But I'll just do my best, see what happens tomorrow.
Not on the same level as the guys next to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Being kind of unmanageable or unfixable. So I think it looked pretty tricky out there for everybody. And I think as we're pushing the limits of these tires as well, I think for a while now the tires have been pretty sensitive to how much load all the cars have. So it's not as easy as maybe you would like, but I think the underlying pace is definitely there as it's shown.
Thanks both. Okay, next one.
Jawad Yaku from the Raw. We haven't had a wet race here since 2010, and what a race that was. Question to all three of you. How much of an unknown is it going into tomorrow without much recent representative running in wet conditions here?
I don't know. For me, I kind of have to wait and see, Also, it's a new car, so there's also a lot of unknowns and question marks that we have for will the car perform? Will it perform at the same level? Is there different issues, So it's not always as simple as just saying bolts and wets on and have a crack. So we'll wait and see. Of course, it's always a bit more unknown. There's more possibilities for everyone. Definitely a bit of our pace potentially goes out of the window just because it's a bit harder to kind of extract and show the difference of pace that we've had today. But we're in the best position to do that if we can. So I know the chances of rain have been coming down and down. Normally, you've always seen the wet races and inter races are pretty exciting, especially for you guys. Excited to see what we can do. But just a lot of question marks for all of us, so not too many answers for the time being.
Yeah, more or less the same. I think we had a few wet laps here a couple of years ago. So I think we've all done some wet running on this new layout. But yeah, the cars have moved on a lot since then. And, I think I can't even remember if the tyres are the same anymore. They might be different. So there's a lot of unknowns for tomorrow. And obviously being round one, like Lando said, there's still some question marks about whether some of the characteristics we've had in the past are still the same when it rains. I think if I was sitting here going, I had another 2/10 in hand and I blew it, then I'd be pretty upset. But I feel like I've executed well this weekend. So I think for me, that's all I can ask for myself. I think there's always things you can improve and do a better job in. So I'll try and look at where those are. But I'm ultimately happy with how I've driven this weekend. I think in terms of the pressure, honestly, it's. I said in the lead up that I was using it as support and not pressure, but I think genuinely that has been the case. Of course, you want to start the season well, you want to do well at home. Those things are obvious, but I think I've done a good job of being strong ultimately, and not letting that get in my head. So I'm happy with how I've approached the weekend, how I've driven. And the support has really been something special, and the expectation is very minor compared to the support.
Thank you, Oscar. Next one.
Oliver Van Brunswick, Raw Sports. Question for Oscar. This is McLaren's first front row lockout since 2012, and you've touched about how you're feeling comfortable and relaxed in the car. Just how exciting is the opportunity to potentially make history tomorrow?
At least one good, let's say, an interesting question of what they are doing, what they will do actually. What they will do at the beginning of the race. Are they free to race, or what will happen? That's the, I think, main thing that we need to follow tomorrow on the race. And also, I think first, second, third, and fourth turn will be a problem for Lando Norris. As you know, he was on the last season, he was struggling a lot at the start of the race. He was like, I don't know, somehow he was just struggling to start the race. On the other side, Piastri was better than him for the race start. And tomorrow, I think, if Norris struggles, Piastri will pass. If not, he will try too hard. I think the Piastri will try hard to pass Lando Norris and to take that win at the home race. We will see at least one good question. And like we had, as Norris said, we had some specific rules, we can across it, but I think it will be very interesting fight to watch tomorrow at the start of the race. And of course, like a wolf, Max Verstappen will wait behind them to that opportunity and maybe to pass two of them the same corner. Let's say, let's continue. I'm sorry for the interrupting, but I must do it.
Yeah, I think the only Andrea accent I can do is about some of the innovative things on our car. Which everyone's obviously seen now. But yeah, I mean we're free to race each other. I obviously want to win the race as much as Lando does. I think he summed it up very well. Thinking any team, not just McLaren. Obviously, the number one rule is to have no contact, and to give each other space. So that's no different. Obviously, if there's opportunities for either of us to take advantage of certain situations, then we will, and we're free to do that. But ultimately, we are racing for the team. It's a very important thing for us, and I think we said numerous times last year, I think the teamwork that we show as drivers, but also as a team, is what won us the Constructors' Championship last year. So I think it's important to recognise that fact, because I think obviously the car has been strong for a while now, but I think also the team is very strong. So that's as good.
Yeah, we are at the end of the one more press conference. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us. Just one more time, I'm sorry for the interrupting for the videos when they are talking. I'm just cutting in the middle of the press and trying to give my opinion, but at least we must do something like this for the last seconds. Don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to follow the other interviews that we will have on our channel for a couple of minutes.